my second English entry already. Okay, anyway, it's well, basically it's about the Kings of War again. So there's a little league going on in my, well, let's just call it area. I didn't take part in the first tournament, but still, there is one coming in like the end of the March, and it's in my city. It's taking place in my city, so I thought to myself, damn, maybe I'll try and play, and probably I'm gonna be destroyed, but still. So I was thinking like, okay, I'm gonna just put all my stuff on a table, and I'm gonna think like, okay, so this is what I have, and let's try to figure out what we need or what we want, because this is not always the same, not for me at least, since I'm not really big on power playing. So this is what it is. Also a little backstory for my army, and the whole thing begins, I mean, all the miniatures were actually created with the Age of Sigmar in mind, hence the round bases, but later on I was like thinking of playing something, more historically orientated, and to be frank, something that is a war game, because well, as much as I like, well, Age of Sigmar, I'm not sure if this is a war game anymore. I mean, it does not really simulate much when it comes to warfare. That does not even try in many aspects. So I was thinking about playing actually pike and shot, but there's no one around who plays it. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll start doing something towards pike and shot, but I can play something else. Let's just say I can try Kings of War historical. So I started going that way, but then I just realized that there is this army, Kingdoms of Man, which is, well, you can build whatever you want actually. In terms, if you have any historical army, well, you can play this army. I mean, you can play Kings of War. Therefore, I decided to play Kings of War, since there was a few people already playing it. Like I said, and like you can see, I put everything on the table, and well, while I did that, I thought to myself like, well, maybe I just like film it and talk about it a bit. Maybe someone will find it interesting, and this is how this material came to be. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm just gonna talk a bit about each and every of those units that you can see, and well, I hope it's going to be fun. A word of caution though, it's just I'm not prominent enough in the game to actually talk about if the particular unit is good or bad, and if it's cost effective and all that. I'm just playing for now, at least. Like I said, I'm not big on power playing. Doesn't mean that I don't want to put together an army that will be murderous, although I'm not so sure if Kingdoms of Men is this kind of army. Well, if you want to power play, I think you can find different armies in the Kings of War. So I'm gonna just like very lightly talk about those units. No real cons or pros. Okay, so here is my first unit. I think I like him the most still. Obviously these are pikemen. Like I said, they were originally created for Age of Sigmar. That's why they have this round basis. Later on I decided to try Kings of War, and I asked someone that I know that have the capabilities to create those bases for me. I mean, a part of the bases, because the rest I created myself. as you can see, there are few standards. They are not really historically orientated for the moment. I just think that it looks cool, and if you see those armies on some pictures and there is lots of standards. So there are 3 here. They are in very uniform colors, as you can see, green and red. These later ones, I mean, especially the 4 dudes in the front rank with the leveled pike. These are metal, warlord metals, and I painted them a bit more Landsknechtisch, if I may say so, meaning that they don't really keep the green and red scheme. I mean, well, there is a green and red, but not in the, you know, not so prominent in like the others. Okay, this is another unit. These are hand gunners in terms of Kings of War. These, when I painted them, I created them as you know, to be historically accurate as much as I can do that. This is supposed to be a Black Legion, a unit that was serving for Francis I, King of France, and they were utterly destroyed at the Battle of Pavia. So a very simple color scheme, yet very effective, I think. Well, I keep hearing that they look really nice. I made the standard myself. It's not really historical, but it's based on the similar designs, so I think it looks good, and all things look good except the one dude that have a different colors. Yeah, I just need one more guy in these colors. Actually, previously as a handgunners, I was using GW miniatures, but they are big comparing to Warlord and Perry, and to be honest, I'm trying to phase them out. I mean, at least in this army designed for Kings of War and possibly pike and shot. Speaking of a devil, okay, these are miniatures I use as a foot guard with 2-handed weapons, 2 units, 2 regiments. Well, these are GW plastics, very nice miniatures actually. You know, you can make, I mean, there is one medal there, you can see, but the other ones, this is the plastic regiment with a paper flag from Perry or Warlord, I don't remember. Not historically orientated, again, very nice miniatures. You could actually convert them and make them pikemen and everything, you know, just use other GW hands, but it would cost you a fortune, so that's why I'm, you know, phasing them out. And they're, you know, fantasy miniatures. I mean, the weapons are big and well, not funny, well, they're just fantasy, right? And they're big comparing to Warlord, like I said. These are the old medals, these are even bigger, so it's not such a big difference when you look at them, you know, from the standing over the table, but still, I would like some uniformity. Okay, now some crossbowmen. Some of them painted the same scheme as I mean, most of them actually, as the you know, pikemen. These have pavises. I'm not sure, pavis. Okay, anyway, you know what I mean. On their backs, I stopped doing that actually later on because, well, for a 16th century army, these were not really used. Again, and some of those crossbow guys that you can see here are a bit much more colorful. I think I did like 10 of them, sort of like dropping the only red and green scheme, adding some other colors, and I like it. Well, this is, if I, you know, paint more Landsknecht dudes, this is what I'm be doing. I mean, apart, I need some pikemen for my Black Legion dudes, because actually this was predominantly a pike unit, and I don't have any pikes for now for these for the Black Legion, so I'm gonna do it. Okay, these are knights, obviously. These are actually first miniatures created solely, I mean, with the purpose of using them for the Kings of War. You know, just one base, no round bases or anything else. Again, they are painted a bit, I mean, a bit. If there's a color, it's green or red. And then when I for a pike and shot, they are a bit, I mean, not colorful enough. You know, it's a Renaissance. Actually, 16th century, the knights are beginning to look, you know, much brighter and colorful than before. And this is supposed to be like a French knight. You know, there's a French standard, so I think I'll have to repaint some of them at least. You know, adding some colors. Other than that, I like this unit very much. Now, this is a Handbücher, I think. Well, it's a historically accurate weapon. There was such a thing used by Landknechts. You know, it's sort of like a heavy arquebus. I used it in Kings of War as the ballista. I think it's a great idea to use it that way. I mean, in this army, unfortunately, as you may or you don't know, I don't know. Well, the human artillery for Kingdoms of Men is not very effective, so they sucked. I mean, I used them once. For now, they didn't hit anything and die. But anyway, I think I'm gonna get me a second one. Maybe they'll hit something. And besides, I really like this model. You know, it's cool and it looks good, right? Oh yeah, and these are miniatures. Actually, I showed them on my blog. I mean, pictures of them. This is sort of like a test. I was doing this Warlord miniatures. They are to replace GW as a foot guard with great weapons. I think they will look great. En masse. I'm still thinking what sort of bases actually to use with them. And this is actually the only hero that is like strictly designed for Kings of War. For now, that is. You know, this is a Bretonnian figure. I just did little, you know, fur on her because recently she was being used as a sorcerer in the Frostgrave. Yeah, you know, this is a cold place, so I thought she's going to be a bit, you know, warmer. So hence the adjustment of her dress. Anyway, very pretty miniature. It will stay as my wizard. And well, these are my mounted scouts. I mean, these are the miniatures that I use for mounted scouts. Again, these are based solely for the Kings of War. Well, unfortunately, well, the plan that I use my you know, Renaissance army for pike and shot Italian wars just came like after I did those, since they are you know, like a 200 years in the wrong direction. This is like a 17th century cavalry, so it doesn't really fit with the rest of the army, but still, for Kingdoms of War I use them. If you watch my report, you probably know they are not very effective when it comes to killing anything, but they ride fast, and you know, they're good for riding fast, taking stuff, you know, or scoring objective. No, well, this guy is a veteran in my armies. Obviously, it's a GW giant, beautiful miniature. It took part in Warhammer Fantasy battles when it was still alive, and now it's taking part in the Kings of War. It is of Scottish origins, hence the little Scottish thingy. I mean, yeah. I mean, I bought it in Scotland, so I thought fitting to give him this little detail. I love it. I added some plastic stuff from Gorgor, whatever, the big beast from the Chaos dudes. Here is a general on the flying beast. Well, again, GW model, converted a bit. I mean, a bit. Originally it was Elf Prince on Griffon. I think I cutted the throne-like saddle and the upper half of the body, left the lance because it's cool, and used some, you know, bits and pieces from GW kits, mostly like you know, great swordsmen, and some other knights, I believe, and a bit of green stuff, and it looks pretty good, I think. So you know, it's a bit wobbly when it comes to its stand, but the good part about it is that I can, you know, detach it and attach it to the oval base and still use it for Age of Sigmar. Now, this is something that someone asked of me to make some comparison, so I'm doing it. This is just the Skaven. There is also tools for Kings of War. Well, as you can see, size-wise, they look okay. I mean, the worry was that you know, that the human regiment may look like little children, but I think it just looks fine. This particular Skaven here, Clan Rat and Ratkin, it's kind of high in comparison to some, so he still looks, you know, okay. This is obviously a GW model. Okay, it's big. I wouldn't put it in the same regiment. Again, different regiments, from the, you know, standing over a tabletop, they look fine, but again, I'm not using them presently for my Kings of War army. This is a Goblin or Knight Gloom Spy Gits, right? So yeah, again, they just look fine. And this is antique model. It's well, it's a barbarian dude. Again, he looks fine. A bit bigger, but well, he's a barbarian. Now the orc, well, a bit bigger than a human, actually. I mean, I assume that this is a Dungeon Saga orc. Still, I assume that he's of the same size as the one in the units. So yeah, I think looks fine. I don't know actually what size are humans. The one made by Mantic. Goblin, Mantic Goblin here. And now some, well, I don't have you know, Mantic Dwarfs. This is a GW Old Metal Dwarf, well, a bit bulky, without knees and stuff. And another one sort of, yeah, here it is. Okay, because of the stand, it looks not so good. It looks like it can eat human. So yeah, let's compare it to this one. Well, I suppose it looks fine. In the units, they would just could, you know, fight each other. And well, this is pretty much it when it comes to comparing. I'm just thinking what to do next. I have a few boxes of stuff. These are the guys. I'm gonna make you know, a foot guard with the doubles, with the two-handed weapons, like I showed. There are some halberds leftovers from this box. I'm gonna use them probably to make some halberd people. I mean, they are called pole arms block, I think. It's a cheap unit in terms of Kings of War, and it's going to be nice. Yeah, I'm gonna mix it with those guys and make some polearms people. I think I'm gonna try some bowmen as well, because there's lots of them in this box. And here I bought also some foot knights, and this box and the previous box I'm gonna mix it and try to make sort of like a heavy infantry. And they're gonna serve in Kings of War as a foot guard with shields, yeah, something like that. But I'm trying to make them again a bit historically looking. So this is like a, you know, end of the 15th century and beginning of the 16th century. I'm aiming toward like a Italian heavy infantry. So yeah, they're gonna look okay. I think they're a bit heavy. I mean, too much armor on them, especially on the feet and below the knees, right? Because the infantrymen don't really need those. But still, I think they're gonna look good. And well, this is pretty much it when it comes to this presentation. I hope it was of some joy to you. So soon I hope to put, you know, another battle report. But you know, for now, take care.